Welcome back to ROZZY'S Life. Today I'm going to show you all how I make peach cobbler hand pies. This is what I'll be showing you guys how I make them. These are absolutely delicious and juicy, and we are going to reserve the extra peach juice because if you are a juice person, you can dip. So what I did was I started off with half a stick of butter and a can of peaches. So I'm just going to let this cook down until the sugar dissolves. I'm just stirring it up just to let the sugar get all throughout so it can start doing what it do. And I will be adding another half a stick of butter, but I'm going to go ahead and start adding in my spices, which is cinnamon and nutmeg. Now you add as much or as little as you like. There's no measurements to this part at all. You have to taste test to make for sure that it's to your desired taste. So I'm just helping that sugar get dissolved. And I'm going to add in my other half a stick of butter. As you can see, there it is, the other half a stick of butter. Just go on ahead and just keep stirring it. Make for sure you keep your fire medium high because you do not want to burn this delicious juice. And another reason why you may want to continue to stir it is because you want to make for sure that cinnamon and nutmeg, that it breaks down as well. You absolutely do not want to just have a hunk of the cinnamon and or the nutmeg. This is the size can that I brought, is a 29 ounce. I only needed one because it makes a lot of filling. Now I'm going to go on ahead and start on my crust. I have my flour, my salt, my CRISCO, and I also have some cold butter. So I'm going to go on ahead and start getting this all together. I'm going to put this CRISCO in first after I mix up the salt and the flour. So I'm going to just put that on top. And I'm going to go on ahead and start working that in. And crust is really easy to make. It's just please be patient. Don't get scared once you start putting on or in the cold water. Just continue to work it until it becomes pea-sized shapes. And I'm about to add this butter in here. Got to have that butter. It does absolutely something to that crust. But anyway, so we're getting there, y'all. We almost to the finish line with this crust, baby. So just keep working your flour mixture until you get them pea-sized shapes. I'm just going to add a little bit more flour in here because it's going to be a baked crust and we want it to be crunchy. Okay, so I'm just adding that in until it becomes into the little pea-sized shapes I'm looking for, and we are looking good, y'all. We are there. I'm just going to take all of the flour mixture and just put it in a pile and make a little dip in it. Oh, Lord. And make a little dip in it, and I'm going to pour my cold water in the dip. And if the water tends to fall out or slide out of it, no problem. You'll just gather that back up in there and just continue on with making your crust. I'm just patting it so the water will incorporate within the flour mixture. And if for any reason the flour mixture still feels too dry, add you some more water because even if it's really wet, you're still going to put down some flour. Just don't get it real sopping wet though, y'all. And please don't knead it too much because then you'll just ruin your dough. It'll end up being tough and you want a flaky type dough. So now I'm just getting it all combined and I'm about to go on ahead and put down some flour because I am ready to roll out this dough. I want me a hand pie. All right, so now I'm going to go on ahead and put some flour down because it's filling and looking good. See how I'm not kneading it? I'm just rolling it around. And that's a done deal, baby. Let's get it up and put some flour down. Now, if you like and you're too scared to make your own dough, you can also buy the dough from the store, but homemade is just so good. And you know what you put in it. So now I'm just rolling it out so I can go on ahead and start making my impressions in the dough. See how pretty this dough is? It's not falling apart or anything. It is so smooth. I'm proud of this dough. Okay, and you can still see butter pieces in it. It's going to be a good, flaky, crunchy dough. So now I'm just taking some more flour and putting it upon it so I can go on ahead and start slicing out my pieces of dough. And you can also fry this dough if you like. So now it is ready, y'all. I'm going to go on ahead and get my Cool Whip bowl. Yes, that's right, a Cool Whip bowl. It has the absolute perfect size for me. So I just went on ahead and made my impressions so I can go on ahead and get this thing to cooking. And I set my oven at 425. So this is the perfect time because we're almost done to go on ahead and get your oven ready. So get that thing preheated. Go on ahead and get them up after you make your impressions. That's why you need a lot of flour on the cabinet. So this way they will not stick. You see how pretty that was? Let's do another one. Now you can make your impressions how big or little that you like, but this is actually a hand pie, and so that's what we needed. And so now I'm just finishing up the rest of the dough. Just re-roll it out and continue on with making your impressions. This is the size Cool Whip, but I think they all the same size, even the big one. Just make your impressions out of a Cool Whip bowl if you want a nice size hand pie. This is the egg wash. It's just 1 tablespoon of water and 1 whole egg. This right here will be your glaze for your hand pies. And I mean, once it's set, it has a nice crispy crunch to it. So I just added in some powdered sugar and some milk. And I had started off with my 2 cups of powdered sugar and 2 tablespoons of the milk. And I added in another one. Altogether, I'm adding in 6 tablespoons of the milk. It's up to your desire, but it really would be best for the 2 cups of powdered sugar to only add in 6 tablespoons of the milk. And you will have the perfect glaze. And I'm telling you, when it's set, I mean, you're going to be like, whoa, I did that. Like, this is like store-bought, but you made it at home. And it's absolutely delicious. Look at that. Look at that glaze. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these slices of peaches and I'm going to cut them down even more because we don't want big pieces of peaches inside of our hand pies. I mean, you can, it's up to you, but I like the little bite-sized peaches. So I'm just going to go ahead and break these down a little bit more. And there it is, y'all. I finished them all. So I'm going to go ahead and return them into the bowl. Don't that look good? And now it's time to go ahead and start filling these shells. Well, crust. And I'm going to put as much as you can in there. Try to reserve a lot of the juice. But even if you put juice in there and it starts coming out of the sides, that's just extra goodness. Long as you don't burn them in the oven, it will have a delicious little sweet bite to it. And so just make your little impressions all around once you fold them in half. Just make your little impressions on your little crust here and go on ahead and sit that to the side because we got other things to do to this. Make for sure that you cut little, little slits in it. That way they can breathe while they're cooking. And then go on ahead and put your egg wash on here so these babies can get golden brown. I have some sugar and cinnamon here. I'm just going to sprinkle some of that on top. That's a little extra zhuzh for these hand pies, baby. And I popped them in the oven and I popped them on out. And now I'm popping them with this glaze. Oh my God. Get you some ice cream. Just go get the ice cream. Okay, that's all I got to say. Get you some ice cream and sit this right next to it in that bowl. And go ahead and handle your business. But go ahead and make for sure you glaze all these babies. So when they set up, when they sit over to the side, y'all know what I'm talking about. When they set up and they get all hard and stuff. And then they start looking like this. Oh, yes, you deserve an applause. You did a great job and you enjoy your outcome. I thank you all for your time. Y'all stay safe. I plan to see you all for the next video. So enjoy and share with your friends and family. I am out.